Here we go again. New year, new AFCON. Welcome back to another AFCON podcast. Today we're joined by Mohammed and Adam, who've been on here before. First of all, guys, how are you? How are you, Mohammed?
Yeah, all good. Assalamu alaikum, guys. All good. We're getting ready for another AFCON, another headache. Yeah, man. That's it.
Fair enough. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, just like what Mohammed said, another headache.
Another headache. Especially in Morocco. There were some big headaches there. Don't worry about that.
Cheeky.
Yeah, too early. It's too early for that, isn't it? So what we're going to do today is we're going to preview the AFCON draw. Although the tournament is not until December, the draw is happening in January, not too far away now. We'll sort of look at who's involved, the pots, and maybe what's a good draw for Algeria, what would be interesting, and what would be a really, really bad draw. So we're going to go through it pot by pot. We'll start by looking at pot one, where you've got Morocco, of course, the hosts, Nigeria, Algeria. It feels weird Algeria are there because of two group stage exits. Senegal, Egypt, and the holders, Ivory Coast. I'll ask you both. I'll start with Mohammed. Do you think Algeria deserve to be in pot one?
I think we do deserve to be in that one. Like, always seems to be that during the qualification, we get the job done. And then during the actual tournament, we'll be in pot one. So we'll get a favourable draw or whatever. And then we just tend to capitulate. Why we don't get the result? We pretty much know why.
What about you, Adam?
As Mohammed said, I think we do deserve to be in pot one, as in qualification, we're one of the best teams in Africa and the qualifiers. In the last AFCON, we won all of our games. Like, even in this one, we won. Like, we haven't lost any AFCON games. We do deserve to be here in pot one. It's just where like in AFCON, the actual tournament, we tend to struggle, especially in the group stage with 2 group stage eliminations. But we do deserve to be in pot one.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, the good thing about being in pot one, of course, means we can't play the top teams early on. So you'd think that would make it easier for us, but yeah, we still seem to be bottling it at the first hurdle. So being in pot one, Mohammed, do you think it's a good thing we avoid teams like Morocco, Ivory Coast, Senegal, or would you rather play them early doors?
He's still got. Well, we're gonna get onto pot two, but we still got some big teams in pot two. So I don't think it's that we're not getting our decisions right.
Here we go.
No, we're not.
It took 4 minutes.
We didn't get one VAR review.
He's not over it yet.
I agree with him.
No, but that's actually the reason. That's part of the reasons. Teams like Egypt survive AFCON because of penalties.
Yeah.
Every game they're getting a pen. We're not even getting a review. So,
Dean, when was the last time we got a pen in AFCON?
The last time we got a pen was we lost to Ivory Coast 3-1 in the group. Marius actually missed it. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, Marius. Yeah.
Right, yeah, that one.
Yeah. But we conceded a lot of pens in the last AFCON, didn't we, Adam?
Oh, so we get a pen when we're 3-0 down,
Yeah.
Defensively, I mean, against Angola and against Burkina Faso, gave them away.
Individual errors. I think that's what costed us the last.
But we still, I get it. I agree. We had individual errors, but we should have had some penalties against Mauritania.
Yeah, of course.
Against Angola, against Burkina. We had penalty shouts, but the fact that we're not getting a review.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
It's not a thing where they weren't reviewing penalty decisions or red card decisions. Every game they were reviewing decisions, so we're within our right to ask for at least a review.
Yeah, I think we've been hard done by, but it's a lot of politics in CAF, as you both know. So it's hard to get a decision. I mean, there were times when Baghdad, Belayli were rolling around screaming for penalties, doing this, all that, all the time.
Yeah.
We're not even a check.
Somani as well, yeah.
That was the big one.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
It was really weird.
Right, well, let's hope we talk about the matters on the pitch. Do you think, Adam, that Algeria are the weakest team in pot one?
I wouldn't say we're the weakest team in pot one, but the pot two, pot three, pot four teams would want Algeria from pot one.
Really?
You know, look at the two last AFCONs. We went out the group stage 2 years running. Now, do you think you wouldn't want to play Morocco in their backyard? You wouldn't want to play the champions Ivory Coast. You wouldn't want to play against a strong Senegal squad. You wouldn't want to play against, Mo Salah's Egypt or the runners-up Nigeria. It wouldn't have to be us. But the last time we were in that situation, it was in the World Cup qualifiers when all the pot 2 teams wanted us, and we got the hardest team, Cameroon.
Yeah. Funny that. Yeah. Funny how we always get the hardest team. Okay, let's come on to pot 2 now. So this is essentially meant to be Algeria's toughest opponent from pot 2. You've got Cameroon, of course, as you just said. There's a lot of sore history there. A lot of people are still not even recovered from that game 3 years ago. Tunisia, which of course would be a bit of a rivalry, a bit of a derby. Burkina Faso, who we had last time we drew. Actually not a bad result drawing to Burkina Faso, if you think about it. Mali, DR Congo and South Africa, who came surprisingly to some people third, but were very strong defensively. So the big question is, Mohammed, who do you want? Who do you want to avoid?
Honestly, South Africa, obviously semi-finalists. They still got some very good players.
What about you, Adam? Who do you? I mean, do you want to play Cameroon because to get revenge, or do you want to avoid them? Take me through it.
Would want to play against Cameroon, get that revenge, but half of me don't want to play against because I think they're the toughest team in pot 2 right now, in my opinion. I don't know. There's a lot of teams that I would want from pot 2. Like I'll say Tunisia. It's not a good Tunisia. They're in a bit of a mess at the moment.
They're lucky to be in pot 2, aren't they?
They're lucky to be in the tournament. Let's be real.
Oh, that's very true, but bold. Yeah,
really lucky to be in this tournament. South Africa, I would be a bit. They got a lot of good players, especially from the Suns that's doing well at the moment. Dark horse, in my opinion. I think they'll do something in Morocco. Mali's tough. Even Burkina Faso, I think, is a bit of a bogey team. We haven't been beaten Burkina Faso in almost more than 10 years now. When we beat them in Bleeder 1-0.
Yeah. Just feels like we play Burkina Faso every week. It just seems inevitable that we'll get Faso.
Yeah, we'll always draw against them. We'll play better, but they'll just score in the last minute or something.
Congo and Mali. We had a friendly against Mali actually, but we haven't played a competitive game against them in a while.
It's tough, and of course, 3 teams basically go through really, and Algeria still can't seem to make it. It just seems a bit mad, really, and we can't. We looked at the draw last time. We had Burkina Faso, we had Angola, we had Mauritania. That should have been 9 points or 7 at worst, shouldn't it?
Yeah. That first half against Angola, we were just like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, we all thought it was gonna be our
bicycle kick, Bunja.
I said to my friend next to me, I was watching the game with him. I was like, "This is our cup." That was the best football I've seen Algeria play since 2019 AFCON. I'm not even joking. And then I don't know what happened in the second half. Bentaleb, I think, cost us that game.
Well, the penalty.
Yeah, the penalty.
But the penalty itself was weird, wasn't it? Because
if you didn't kick the guy, we would be in the last 16 if you didn't kick that guy.
Wow. That's
bold. No, they didn't look threatening at all.
Exactly. We weren't really scared of them.
They had nothing about them.
They even missed their pen.
Yeah.
They missed their penalty.
Well, I think Mandrea had a bad cup. He didn't really do anything.
You can't really blame him because he hasn't had anything.
We'll get onto that.
Okay. Well, speaking of Angola, Algeria could get them again because they're in pot 3 and they look like the standout team in pot 3. Alongside them, you've got Equatorial Guinea, who, of course, were in the same qualifying group as us, played them twice. Benin, Uganda, who are in the World Cup group with us. Gabon and Zambia, still managed by Avram Grant. I don't know how that happened. So I'll come to you, Adam, in pot 3. Would you want to avoid Angola or would you want to get back at them?
like on paper, we should be beating teams like Angola, but we could have in the last AFCON, but I think we were a bit unlucky, especially with the Baghdad offside. I think the team that I want for pot three would have to be Uganda or Gabon or Benin. I think they're the three weakest ones in pot three. Seeing as we've beaten Uganda before, is Aubameyang still playing for Gabon?
Yeah,
I think he's back there.
What was that?
Yeah, he came out of retirement.
It's not that Aubameyang from before though.
No.
And Benin is Benin, right?
No, you can't write them off. You can't write them
I
off.
can't write them off. Name one player from Benin.
No, wait, 1 second. The last podcast I had with you, everyone was saying we're gonna breeze past the Mauritania. What did I say? I said, be careful.
I would say that I want Equatorial Guinea because we beat them in the qualifiers, but the most Algeria thing to do, beating them in the qualifiers, but in the actual AFCON, we'll just lose them.
Well, they ended the 35-game unbeaten run, Equatorial Guinea in the AFCON. We've been there before.
We've been there before with them, but
with Salvador and all that.
Yeah.
What about you, Mohammed? I mean, if Algeria want to be taken seriously, they should be beating all of these easily, if we're being honest.
Yeah, we look at it and it's like all beat. I'd probably want Uganda.
Okay, beat them with 4, of course.
We always tend to beat them comfortably. So that's probably who I want. Who I would avoid is actually probably Angola, because I think they've updated their squad, haven't they? Like they've got some more binationals in from Portugal. So I think gradually they're becoming a team, you know. So I'd want to avoid Angola, definitely. And similarly to Adam, Uganda, maybe a Gabon. I think Benin you need to watch out for. Benin are actually a good team.
Benin scraped it past Libya. Scraped it.
You got to remember, they knocked out Morocco in 2019 on pens.
Yeah, that's true. With 10 men. Okay, so Angola are the ones to avoid. I mean, Uganda were chatting a lot. Do you remember before that World Cup game? It was Petkovic was going there, and they said they were going to dismantle us and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, that
well,
went
they nearly beat us. They nearly beat us.
Yeah, we were really bad,
didn't they?
We left it to the second half.
Yeah. Thanks to Ben. Was it Ben Rama that saved the day? Yeah.
This time I was, bro. We'll get onto that.
I'm just saying, was it Ben Rama that got the goal? Right.
Finally.
Scores when it matters.
After how many appearances?
Scores when it bloody matters. That's not stat padding against Somalia. That's what matters.
Missing that opportunity against Sierra Leone.
Let's move on to pot 4. Now, this pot obviously had Mauritania last time, and they're the only team that beat us. So let's not write them all off. You've got Tanzania, Zimbabwe are back, Botswana, and we're going to know a lot more about Botswana very, very soon, guys. Sudan, fair play to them for qualifying over Ghana, so you can't write them off. Comoros, again, another Muslim country managed to qualify. Very impressive. Beat Tunisia twice, or I think got 4 points out of them. And Mozambique, who, of course, Algeria went there with Belmadi, and that was a tough game. And, of course, they'll be playing Algeria very soon as well. So it's not an easy pot 4, is it, Adam? I think there's a couple of... I don't know
why Mozambique's in pot 4, to be honest with you. I don't think they're a pot 4 team. I think they're a bit of quality in there. You know, we've seen in the last AFCON, did they beat Ghana?
I think they were 2-0 up. No, they drew 2-2 against Ghana, didn't they?
They drew against Egypt and Ghana.
Yeah.
And they lost to Cape Verde, I think.
Yeah.
They can trouble us as well. Just as they did in the World Cup qualifiers in the first half. They should have been like 2-0 up against us in that game, to be fair.
Yeah, in Maputo with Belmadi, wasn't it?
That's why I wouldn't mind any teams from pot 4 except Comoros and Mozambique, to be honest with you.
You wouldn't mind Sudan?
I would want Sudan, you know.
Okay, because Mauritania, sort of similar sort of side.
Yeah. But come on, we should beat Sudan. If we can't beat Sudan, I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, I think we're done out here if we.
We're done out here if we lose to Sudan. All seriousness.
Mm.
With Tanzania, we always beat Tanzania.
Backfire. Always beat Tanzania.
We don't always beat Tanzania.
No, mostly.
No, the last game we had with Tanzania, we drew.
2-0. Yeah, but it wasn't a strong team.
We rotated
Doesn't
everyone.
matter. Doesn't matter.
They had to draw that game to go to the next AFCON.
Doesn't matter. We should
They had to get a point. They had to get a point. They had something to play for.
Okay, they had something to play for, but we should still beat them.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Who would you want, Mohammed, then from there?
Again, I'm agreeing with Adam. Like, it's a tough pot four as well. All these teams have proved themselves in the qualification and utterly deserve their qualification. So Mozambique are the void, 100%. That first half, they play football. They can play football.
Mm-hmm.
Comoros, probably a void. They've got some good players in France playing in Liga. Didn't they? They lost to Cameroon last time in round 16. So yeah, at the void, and they had the outfield player playing in goal.
Yeah, and that was their first ever AFCON.
Yeah. I'd definitely avoid Comoros. I'd actually avoid Sudan. They've got some really good performances this season, and it's not a surprise that they've managed to build a team together in the national team to qualify. Avoid Sudan and Botswana. They've done very well in the qualifiers, the World Cup qualifiers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to face them. So we're going to know more about them. So again, you can't write them off. I'd probably want Zimbabwe, to be honest.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. The reason why we beat them before, we've played them before, we sort of know their game, but they had that ban, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough because we're not gonna know what to expect from them. They still have Kadewere that used to play for Lyon. He's quite a good player. So it's a tough pot four, but probably Zimbabwe. But again, it's a tough AFCON. You got some good teams this year.
Wasn't that goal Morris scored when he put someone on the floor and went back? That was against Zimbabwe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The last time we played Zimbabwe in AFCON, they did trouble us. In that 2-2 draw in 2017.
That's 2017. No, but we played them again, didn't we?
Yeah, in the qualifiers.
Yeah.
Morris scored that goal.
Who assisted that Morris goal? Good player. Good player. Right. Let's move on. Let's just wrap up by sort of saying what your dream group would be then, and your group to avoid. So I'll come to you, Adam. So obviously Algeria in pot one. If you could hand pick who you got, what would you want?
For Algeria?
Yeah.
Well, in terms of difficulty?
Yeah, what would be really nice? What would make you feel like we're actually going to get through if it happened?
Oh, okay. I would say...
Yeah.
I did say Tunisia before, but I changed my mind.
Okay.
Burkina Faso.
Again?
Yeah, I'm going to go Burkina Faso again.
Yeah.
Uganda.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Sudan.
Oh, Faso, Uganda, and Sudan. Okay. Yeah.
Surely.
Well, it's like Mohammed said, this doesn't seem to be like an easy game anymore. There's no game where you go.
There's no easy game anymore, but surely you're telling me we can't get minimum 3 points, a minimum 1 win.
Well, yeah, all 3 draws. We couldn't even do that. Okay. What about you, Mohammed? Would you want Faso, Uganda, and Sudan there?
I wouldn't want Faso.
Okay, bogey team.
If we can't beat them,
but we don't lose to them.
The group of death, Adam. What would be like a disaster?
As I said before, half of me would want Cameroon for that revenge.
Yeah.
We kind of, for now, we would have to avoid them. We all know what they're all about. Pot three is difficult.
So Cameroon.
Pot three, Cameroon. You know what? I would wanna.
Yeah, this is what you don't want.
Between Angola or Equatorial Guinea, but I'm gonna go with Angola.
Oh, that's really hard. Could you imagine getting Cameroon and Angola?
Oh,
that's tough.
Cameroon, Angola, and Mozambique from pot 4.
Mozambique. That would be a really hard group.
That would be a really hard group.
Wouldn't shock me if we got it.
Wouldn't be shocked me if we didn't win any of those games.
Okay.
I'm judging this based on recent form. I'd say South Africa. I think they're a tough team to have.
Yeah.
So South Africa. I still think Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah.
And Mozambique.
Yeah, I mean, Mozambique in pot 4. It's just because it's done by the FIFA ranking, and Mozambique aren't that high compared to some of these other nations. Obviously, the AFCON, they didn't win a game. We beat them in the World Cup thing. So, okay, so we'll see. So, 27th of Jan, that's when it all happens in Rabat. I wonder if it would be like Hakimi and Mane doing the balls again, current players. I'll never get my head around that.
Yeah.
That's a bit sus. But, yeah. We'll bring it on. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming on. And you might react to it at some point as well. But yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Drop a like, and we'll see you next time.